video, we'll be taking a look at the top 5 best cameras on the market this year. Like always, we try to include products that could work for someone on a strict budget all the way up to experienced professionals. So whether you're looking for something cheap or looking for professional grade camera equipment, we'll have an option for you on this list. So if you want to find out the best camera, be sure to stay tuned. Coming in at 5th place is the Fujifilm X100F 24.3 megapixel camera. This was one of the best compact cameras on the market, and the price range is around $1,200. It also offers versatility that lets you be as creative as you can get. It's a great compact camera for street photographers and photojournalists. Worth highlighting is the camera's Fujinon 23mm lens. This lens has been specially designed, made of 6 groups of 8 glass elements, and this includes a convex lens that is made of highly refractive glass and an aspheric lens that is double-sided. So your images will have very minimal aberrations, be very sharp, and have great color reproduction. The lens is also coated with a unique HT-EBC coating to help control ghosting and flare. Let's overview some other features worth mentioning. For one, it has a hybrid viewfinder. This blends the features of an electronic and optical viewfinder. At the front of your camera is a switch to operate the viewfinder and quickly switch between the two. It also features focus lever capabilities. This lets you move your focus area instantaneously without you having to take your eye away from the viewfinder so you won't lose your shot. It also has well-placed controls. Most of your dials and buttons to operate the camera sit on the right so you can quickly change settings while being able to hold on to your camera. There's a film simulation function that features Acros mode, and this gives you smooth gradation, great looking textures, and deep black so that you can create monochrome images that are stunning. The X100F has an APS-C sensor and a 24.3 MPX trans CMOS3. The sensor has no low-pass filter, so you can get high performance and better low-light capabilities. The high-speed processing engine means you get a great tone gradation and color reproduction for both your video and stills. It also has a built-in ND filter. This is something that can be really useful when you're shooting a wide open aperture in bright light, or if you choose to use a slower shutter speed. The X100F has an improved ISO sensitivity from its predecessors, which means you get ISO 12800 as a standard option. There are many pros to the X100F. For one, it has excellent image quality. In both RAE and JPEG, it lets you take professional-looking shots easily. It also includes the hybrid viewfinder, which again gives you the best of both electronic and optical viewfinder capabilities. With the in-lens ND filter, there's no need to change filters to reduce light. The fast autofocus capability means you can quickly point and shoot and get a clear shot. It has in-camera RAW conversion, which lets you easily convert to a smaller JPEG file. Also, it has built-in Wi-Fi, where you can easily upload and share images and photos. There are a few cons to the X100F as well. For one, its lens stabilization seems to be lacking, which can give you a somewhat blurry photo if you move while shooting. The 1080p video felt a bit outdated for a Fujifilm brand camera. The autofocus speeds aren't really up to contemporary standards, and face detection option seems a bit unreliable and somewhat limited, with face detection picking out things other than faces. Coming in at 4th place is the Canon EOS 80D, which we consider the best overall camera for YouTube videos. The Canon EOS 80D has a 24 million pixel sensor and a Digic 6 processing engine. Its processor combination and sensor has a native sensitivity range of about ISO 100 to 16,000. For YouTube vloggers who need more focus, set it to ISO 25,600 for its maximum expansion value. Furthermore, its reflex mode system has 45 AF points. All of them are cross-type, while its predecessor, the 70D, had 10 AF points. This means that this camera has more AF point coverage, making it easier to find subjects around the camera frame. Like its predecessor, the Canon EOS 80D has AV digital out terminals, but this camera can record in MP4 or MOV format. Canon's video snapshot feature is also included to help make more dynamic short films on camera. The video and live view mode AF systems are great. It has the speed to shoot still images of moving subjects in certain situations, but its viewfinder system is more useful. The camera's focus shift helps when shooting video, but it is dependent on the camera or subject speed and the shooting scenario. The 80D's quick menu is functional. It provides a fast route to one of its most commonly used features. It would be nice if the camera were able to customize this quick menu, only containing the features you use frequently. Canon has 2 spots located on the mode dial where you can save your camera settings, and you can assign 6 menu items to one of the My Menu tabs. This makes it easier to access some of the more hidden functions such as mirror lockup. Overall, you should think about getting the Canon EOS 80D. With its dual pixel AF system, it results in more AF functionality when capturing photos. Thanks to its touchscreen design, changing focus is as easy as tapping the screen. For camera enthusiasts who want the most utility, consider getting the Canon EOS 80D before it leaves the shelves. The pros include a touchscreen interface, a comfortable hand grip, and a decent AF system. The cons are it has no 4K video capture and it overexposes in high contrast scenes. Coming in at number 3 is the Panasonic Lumix G9 mirrorless camera. It costs around $1,500 and is the best mirrorless camera that is suited for a variety of users, from new users to professional photographers. It's good for shooting nature, sports, and action, and is a robustly made camera that is dust-proof, freeze-resistant, and splash-proof. This is the first Lumix model that Panasonic has made with an LCD window at the top of the camera's body. This is great for advanced photographers who have gotten used to using high-end SLR cameras. On the back is the LCD screen, which is free tilting and turning and lets you view from many angles. Just bear in mind that this function can drain your battery quicker. Worth mentioning too is the Venus imaging processor. The G9 has a Venus imaging processor that gives you better image quality, along with the 20 megapixel Micro Four 43 sensor. This means you can focus very well in low light situations with its fast 0.04 seconds lock focus ability. It gives 60 frames per second high-speed bursts in single-shot autofocus and 20 frames per second in continuous autofocus. Additionally, the G9 also has one of the best control layouts we have seen from Panasonic, making the time-to-shoot ratio as low as you can get. Your most critical controls can all be accessed with one hand. You have a power switch that encircles the shutter button, as well as toggles the top LCD's backlight. On top of the camera are your dual command dials, and just to the left of your thumb rest are your autofocus controls and AF selection joystick. On your top plate, you have all of your dedicated buttons for ISO, white balance, and exposure compensation. In addition to this, you have a few programmable function buttons, as well as a function lever that sits at the front of the camera. Now, let's also dig into some other features this mirrorless camera has. It contains 4K video capabilities, where you get 4K video in 60 frames per second and Full HD in 180 frames per second for sharp, clear video recording. It's also USB power supply compatible. This lets you shoot while you are connected to a battery charger, a really useful feature when you are in situations where you need to wait for a shot to happen. Lastly, it features a vertical battery grip. Now, this grip lets you have a battery in the camera and another battery in the grip, doubling your battery life. There are many pros of the G9. One is its autofocus capability, which allows for lightning-fast single and continuous autofocus for capturing shots. It also has a large viewfinder, which makes it easier to see and line up shots. It also has 2 SD card slots, which means more storage for your videos and pictures. The 4K and 6K photo mode are used for better cropping and printing capabilities. It contains a high-res 40 and 80 megapixel mode, which gives you sharper high-resolution images. And it's rugged, yet it still has the convenience of a turning screen. There were a few cons we noticed with the G9. Its high-res capabilities, as great as high-res mode is, it is only usable from a tripod and for a non-moving subject, which limits your options. Also, you aren't able to separately adjust the viewfinder brightness when needed. Just wanted to mention, all of the links to all the products mentioned in the video will be in the description down below. These cameras do tend to go on sale, so be sure to check out those links for updated pricing on all the products mentioned. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notification to stay up to date with the latest in-camera gear, as well as tips and tricks for photography and video. This list was created based on my personal experience with these products, or very similar products, as well as hours of research. With all of that out of the way, let's get back into the video. Coming in at second place is the Canon EOS Rebel T6i SLR, which costs just over $400. If you are looking for the best entry-level camera, this is a good one because it has up-to-date technology that you would expect, and the price is really reasonable for entry-level photographers. The EOS Rebel has a new sensor that is the second largest in Canon's lineup of cameras. It has a native ISO setting range of 100 to 12,800 with an expansion setting for low light conditions of 25,600. For shooting videos, you get a native 6,400 ISO with an expansion of 12,800, so you are getting some great low light capabilities here. Also, the T6i has a hybrid CMOS system with tracking AF, face detection, FlexiZone multi and single modes in live view. This makes it 4 times faster than its predecessor and makes operating the camera feel seamless. As far as the build and handling of the camera goes, it's pretty lightweight and made of a polycarbonate resin that has high glass fibers in it and an aluminum alloy construction, so the chassis feels very durable. There is a deep texture-coated grip at the front of the camera and a small thumb bridge at the back, so it feels pretty comfortable in your hand. As for features worth taking into account, let's check a few out. For one, it has a vari-angle touchscreen, makes for ease of handling with the ability to be able to compose a shot away from your eye line. It also features an autofocus system. You can let the camera choose the autofocus point in that mode, or you can manually set it in the zone autofocus and single-point autofocus modes. Lastly, another great feature is the NFC and Wi-Fi capabilities. A first in Canon's DSLR range, the T6i has both NFC and Wi-Fi that lets you easily connect to your smart devices so that you can share images and control the camera remotely. There are many pros to this camera. One is its fast autofocus system for locking onto your subject quickly. It also has, again, the built-in NFC and Wi-Fi, which is essential for uploading and sharing videos and images. It's also a really comfortable to use camera. It has a responsive touchscreen, which makes using the screen seamless. It also has a 3.5mm microphone port, which is a great feature for filming videos. Lastly, the 5EV exposure compensation allows for quick shutter speeds. There were a few cons we noticed as well, one being the moving subjects issue. It felt nearly impossible to focus on moving subjects when in live view mode. Another con is the low-density autofocus point, which across the frame this is limited so images aren't as crisp. And the subject tracking was another con. In the viewfinder it seems less sophisticated than other cameras. Coming in at number 1 is the Nikon D850 FX Format Digital SLR, which we felt was the best overall camera and costs around $3,300. It's the next evolution of its DSLR camera line and makes a great camera for beginners and professional photographers alike. Has a lot of great features, has a number of advancements from its predecessors, and can be used in a vast array of conditions and settings. With a 45.7 megapixel back illuminate sensor, this high-speed resolution lets you take fast action images with great quality, so it's a good option for those who like to shoot wildlife or sports events. It's also Nikon's first camera that has backside illumination for its full-frame sensor, no low-pass optical filter, and can give you some amazing image quality, true colors, a faster data readout, and enhanced light gathering efficiency that is perfect for low light. The XSpeed 5 processor this camera comes with allows you to quickly process all of the 45.7 megapixels of data it receives with a wider dynamic range, lower noise, subtle textural and tonal details, and has a high-speed continuous shooting speed of 9 frames per second. The D850 also has the lowest base ISO of 64, and you can expand down to ISO 32, so you get a greater dynamic range. Additionally, the silent photography mode this Nikon has is great for when you need to shoot in quiet settings, like wildlife shots where you don't want the sudden shutter click to scare the subject off. This mode is accessible in live view with 2 modes. Let's check out some of our top camera choices' most interesting features. The Tilt and Touch LCD touchscreen makes it easy to shoot in a number of angles as well as navigating and controlling your menus just like using your smartphone. The autofocus system has 153 focus points with 99 cross-type sensors as well as a dedicated autofocus processor. It also lets you record 16:9 ratio 4K Ultra HD in full frame through the use of the backside light CMOS sensor. You also have 4K time-lapse capabilities in the camera and 8K using an interval timer that gives sequences of nearly 9,999 full-size stills. Nikon SnapBridge app lets you instantly upload and share your shots to your smartphone using low-energy Bluetooth. The pros of the D850 are as follows. It has a 45.7 megapixel full-frame image sensor, which is great for low-light shots. Its sophisticated autofocus system lets you shoot in almost near darkness. It has a sturdy design. It's weather-sealed, so you can take it anywhere. It's also capable of 4K video. With its 7 frame per second burst mode, or 9 frames per second when using the battery grip, you get good quality images. The cons of the D850 are as follows. Its SnapBridge app still feels a bit clunky, and the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connectivity isn't always reliable with it. Built-in flash has been omitted from the design for some reason. Also, when in live view, the focus only uses contrast detection. And it is higher priced. Alright, that's all for this video. If you're new to the channel and want to stay up to date with the latest and best in everything camera, photography, and filmmaking, be sure to hit that subscribe